I want to be a logger when I grow up. If I get to do that, I think it will be fun. I think it would be a good job for me because I like the subject and I do it every day. I know how to use the tools. I have some of the tools and I am used to that kind of work. Now, I was fortunate enough, like most of you, to grow up in the woods. Some of my earliest memories about that time were following my dad around as he's cutting firewood. And I was so proud of him because he had this old Echo chainsaw that he ran over with the pickup and had no muffler. It was louder than all the other guys. All right, that's my dad. You know, memories like that, seeing the log rafts going down the river. Once a year we get to go to the Estacada Timber Bowl and see all the lumberjacks competing. That's really what started my passion for forestry and the outdoors. And that's a link that everyone here has, and I think it makes us a very special group, something that most people don't have and don't share with their other professionals. It's not often I challenge any one of you to find a group of workers that will go out to the same place they've worked all week. For us, it's the woods. They'll go back on the weekends on their time off to the workplace. Yeah, that doesn't happen much, does it? But you know, that's something that we share that's very special. And you know, as I was first asked to do this, I was just absolutely ecstatic. Because forestry is a part of my life that I had written off pretty much. I got hurt 2 years ago and broke my neck. And as you know, a lot of the woods aren't handicap accessible. So it's something I thought I'd never be into again. But now that it's been about a little over 2 years since I've been injured, I've had time to look back. And I don't think that what I did was a waste of time. I look at it as a source of strength, something I look forward to in the future, and something that's I'm very proud to have as part of my heritage. And Doug, that was very impressive. All the words of God congratulate you on that, but I've got to one-up you. So he started forest management at 12. Well, my brother and I, when we were about 9, I think we founded Jake and Brad's Logging. We set up our first log camp. We took out wagon loads of green vine maple and sold it to my poor dad. We thought we were the toughest thing going, but doggone it, we were going to be loggers. So, you know, from a lot of the sessions that were presented earlier today, I think the main theme that emerged from that, to me anyway, was change. We've got change in our forests, who owns them, how they're managed, even where our marketplaces are. And when I was doing research to prepare for this talk, I just looked up the word change. And one of the things that came up most associated with the word change was opportunity. I know that opportunities can be difficult to see, but I think the thing that holds us back most from that is our attitude towards change. Something I came up with a little just example of what it's taken for me to deal with this tremendous life change. I think it's something that can help all of us as we keep going and experience change in our workplaces. And imagine yourself hiking down your favorite trail. Okay, you're hiking down. You're going to wind up. You're going to this place, this destination that you've planned on for a long time. It's somewhere you're so excited to go. You're trucking along that trail. All of a sudden, you come to a corner. When you're around that corner, you're faced with a big sign. You can hardly believe it. It stops you. This sign says that something's wrong. Something's changed. It has all this writing and things you can't do. And it says your route's no longer available. You can still get there, but you're going to have to take a different way. This is what happened to me 2 years ago. And that's what's happening to a lot of us. And if we have an open mind to this change and look for the opportunities in it, you know, we can still see the destination where we want to end up. I think that every challenge brings a choice. We can spend our whole time just reading the sign and being mad that something's changed and that we have to take a different route to our destination. Or we can just read the sign, say, all right, and take that route to where we still want to go.
Tell me about Jake's message and what you might have learned from his speech.
Well, Jake spoke at an awards dinner that we had for our annual meeting of the Montana Society of American Foresters here in Kalispell. And his message was totally uplifting and positive. It's something that was very inspiring to a group of forestry professionals who, as most people know, are in a time of intense change and uncertainty, and it brings a lot of stress and a lot of soul searching where people tend to make bad choices in terms of their attitude, and that was his exact message, was that every day we have a choice as to the attitude we're going to bring. And to a person, everyone in the room was uplifted by his message.
How do you feel this message can be conveyed to other audiences and groups?
Well, I think it's really easily conveyed. I mean, if you look at our country these days, most people are under some sort of stress, and they don't have enough time, and they feel like the problems they have are just overwhelming them. And this message that Jake has, and using the acronym of FACT, which is focus, attitude, choices, and thankfulness, I think is really timely for anyone that lives in this country these days. And it really gives them pause to take an inventory of what's going on in their world and try to really take stock of what's really important, what's a big thing, and what isn't. And again, come back to this issue that their attitude is what matters most. And again, like Jake used, that 10% is action and 90% is reaction. I think that message transcends whatever profession, whatever discipline, or whatever interest that you have.
I'm a senior fellow with the Pinchot Institute out of Washington, D.C. I work with people at the agency level, U.S. Forest Service, BLM, in Washington, D.C. and worldwide. And I'm head of the College Advisory Council for the College of Forestry at Oregon State University.
Catherine, what did you take from Jake's message during his speech?
Well, I think he gave several messages that deserve to be underscored. Number one, he's a very impressive young man in the first place, and he reminded me very much of my son, who is in Iraq. He's been there for 4 years and received a Purple Heart when he was injured a year and a half ago. And his attitude I saw in Jake immediately, in terms of having this constitution of faith and intelligence and this ability to look beyond constraints to be able to provide positive solutions in whatever is placed in front of you. There are very few people in this world, and let me just underscore this again, there are very few people in this world who know how to do what Jake has learned how to do in a very short period of time, and who genuinely live their life every day in that positive framework. He's got a tremendous amount to offer many people.
What could the forestry industry learn from Jake's speech?
Well, I think the forest industry, especially in the last 3 or 4 years, has been hit really hard with economic situations and environmental pressures, and it's become a pretty tough business to be in, and sometimes it almost feels like we're constantly being beat down, and every now and then it's kind of a tough job to have, and it's tough to stay positive about it. But listening to someone like Jake, who can take an experience like what he's gone through and turn it into just keep a positive attitude throughout that, is just really encouraging, and it's a great reminder for us in our everyday jobs that we just need to stay positive, and we need to look at the good things and the things that we're doing that are positive for the environment and the good things in our job, and just keep a positive attitude about that.